With the recent release of the LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga and the ridiculous price that you guys are willing to pay for this dumb Luke pre-order figure, I got to thinking about the other LEGO games and their special pre-order bonus items. Pre-order bonuses have been incentives for video games for a few decades now, with some bonuses ranging from just in-game DLC to some small knickknacks and overtly large objects that no one can fit in their household, because I'm assuming if you're here, you're watching this for the LEGO information, which means you probably have too much LEGO just like we do. LEGO began producing exclusive minifigures for the Warner Brothers and TT based games around 2011 is what I believe. However, some games that released before this date do appear to have included some pre-order bonuses that vary in their range. A quick disclosure before getting into the list: some of these items are very tough to track down on the internet, and some pre-orders were country specific and store specific, especially the early ones. I've taken some creative liberties in some of these items listed here. Most of the information was gathered from the wiki page about the LEGO games, which had a small section dedicated to the pre-ordered minifigs, but it was missing a couple of entries. Some other retailers were simply given polybags as their bonus extras. I've likely missed those because they weren't connected to the game. We actually start off in 2008, a couple years after Traveler's Tales had hit it big with the LEGO Star Wars games. 2008 saw the release of LEGO Indiana Jones and the LEGO Batman the video game. Neither game seemed to release an exclusive figure, however, I think I found some pre-order items from some online listings. This appears to be an Indiana Jones shirt that was likely a promotion for pre-ordering that game, and there's this cool Batman display that advertises keychains of Batman, Robin, Joker, and Catwoman that are available with a pre-order purchase. Here is a better look, and better is used very loosely here, at the keychains in amongst each other. There's also an Indiana Jones keychain there next to him, and there are also some Rock Band pre-order items, which links us onto 2009, once again jumping through. This year gave us the sequel to the Indiana Jones series, a game that was mostly based on the latest movie at the time, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and there was LEGO Rock Band. I'm not sure if the Indiana Jones keychain was a pre-order bonus for pre-ordering either of the games. I'm not even sure if it was a bonus for pre-ordering a game in general, but the Rock Band keychains appear to be linked directly towards that game. They are made up of almost random pieces, and there might have been a couple of different designs. I'm not too sure. This is the best view that I got of one of them. They do not appear to be all that impressive to me or resemble a rocker in any way at all. 2010, Harry Potter received its first treatment of the LEGO games adaptation and appeared to have a couple of different bonuses tied towards its release. The first LEGO game of a few to have this luxury. A Nintendo DS version of the game was included with a stylus that had a Harry Potter minifigure, and there was also a collector's edition of the game that was also released, which from memory included some magnets of the house crests. 2011 saw the release of not one, not two, but three brand new LEGO games, not including a remaster in the future. This to this day is tied for the record for most amount of new LEGO games released in 1 year. Some pretty good ones too. LEGO Star Wars The Clone Wars, LEGO Harry Potter Years 5 to 7, and LEGO Pirates of the Caribbean, still one of my favorites. I could be wrong on this, but I wasn't able to find any incentive at pre-ordering LEGO Star Wars The Clone Wars. Let me know if I missed something here, because this is the last game that stands out like this. LEGO Harry Potter had a very lazy polybag release that went with it at some retailers. I say lazy only because I believe this polybag was used for a lot of other promotions outside of pre-ordering the game. This does become a regular occurrence with some of these LEGO pre-orders, as I mentioned at the beginning. Pirates of the Caribbean, however, completely knocked it out the park with this exclusive doll Jack Sparrow figure. The figure is based on Angelica's doll from On Stranger Tides, and I believe that this included a game code to unlock the figure in-game. Nice. So from here on out, this is where the pre-order bonuses start getting exciting. In 2012, a sequel to LEGO Batman was released, now starring the Justice League as supporting characters, just in time for LEGO to reboot the Batman line that now introduced members like Wonder Woman and Superman. There was a Lord of the Rings game that released at the same time. It was released to celebrate the acquiring rights of Middle-earth. A Hobbit movie also released this year, so big celebrations all around for LEGO in this one. Batman 2 included a very nice Lex Luthor in power armor and a pretty cool kryptonite gun, which was referential to the game itself, while Lord of the Rings here offered an Elrond figure, an exclusive character that we hadn't seen in LEGO just yet. I also found some cool promotional artwork about the exclusive character DLC pack that is only available at EB Games. I thought it was pretty neat. The Marvel license was also acquired in 2012 for sets based on the first Avengers movie, which meant that a Marvel video game was right around the corner. 1 year later, precisely in 2013, LEGO Marvel Superheroes was released, and for quite a while, this was the best LEGO game. Pre-order bonus figure was a tie-in for the movie Iron Man 3. It was of an Iron Patriot figure. The Marvel figures are a little disappointing to me, and this one is not all that impressive. I wish that the figure here was someone that was representative of the video game, not specifically a tie-in to one of the movies. 2013 also had the original release for LEGO City Undercover for the Wii U, which did include this Chase McCain figure. The packaging seems to suggest that he has a different colored hairpiece than what he actually has, but no, he has the regular tan hair. It's the only LEGO game that is not attached to a licensed property that features an exclusive pre-order figure. The game was re-released some years later for multi-platforms, but it didn't include the Chase McCain figure. 2014 was also a huge year for the LEGO video games. This ties with 2011 with 3 brand new games released: the LEGO Movie, the video game, the movie, the video game, the LEGO Hobbit game, and the LEGO Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. Hobbit included a great little pajamas Bilbo who went really well with the Shire Bag End House, and Batman 3 had Plastic Man, who I think is still exclusive to this game's release. The LEGO Movie game received quite a lot of special treatment from LEGO with 3 exclusive polybag figures. I'm unsure if these were all exclusive to the game's release across every country, because some sites only list a couple of these as little bonus incentives. Pajamas Emma and the Radio DJ robot seem to cancel each other out depending on store and country. There was also a Western Emmett figure which seems to be advertised for a game's pre-order worldwide almost. EB Games here in New Zealand had the DJ robot and the Western Emmett, while I read that GameStop had the Pajamas Emmett. I'm not sure how us in New Zealand were able to get the Pajamas Emmett, but it also seems like maybe Americans weren't able to get the DJ robot. You get the picture. 2015 saw the release of the LEGO Jurassic World game and biggest LEGO game ever made, LEGO Dimensions, maybe at the time. Jurassic World included this really cool Gallimimus build?
Gallimimus. Gal-I-my-mus.
But once again, it seems that this was country and store specific because other retailers stocked this Henry Wu minifigure instead. That one looks a bit more recognizable to me, so I think that's what we got. LEGO Dimensions didn't appear to have a direct pre-order bonus, however there were at the very least some exclusive figures on offer. Green Arrow seems was available throughout some giveaways and conventions, I believe, and Supergirl was a free gift with purchase when you bought the LEGO Dimensions starter pack specifically on PlayStation 4. Yeah, technically Supergirl toy is a console exclusive DLC in a way. 2016 had 2 new LEGO games in The Force Awakens and Marvel's Avengers, but 3 if you include a re-release of the Harry Potter games. I don't, however, and it didn't come with a pre-order thing, so who cares. The Force Awakens gave us our first LEGO Star Wars game polybag with FN2187, or Finn, a special version of him in his Stormtrooper armor, though there's no helmet unfortunately. There were also some silly little polybags that you got for free too, a case of just having far too many of these stocked in our stores. The Avengers game, based on the MCU movies, included a really cool Silver Centurion armor for Iron Man, some really cool molds and extra pieces in this one. In 2017, the LEGO Ninjago movie also had the same treatment as the LEGO movie, and a sequel to Marvel Superheroes was also released. Ninjago had a pretty basic Lloyd figure equipped with some kendo gear. That seems to be the standard thing for Ninjago exclusive figures. And Marvel Superheroes gave us our first figure that wasn't related to an Iron Man armor in Giant Man. It's also worth mentioning that LEGO Batman movie was the only LEGO movie that didn't receive its own LEGO game, annoyingly. Instead, it received a story pack expansion for the LEGO Dimensions. You'll notice that it was only Disney properties that received full games in the years between, besides the Ninjago movie. I'm really not sure what led to the Ninjago movie getting a full game, but Batman being missed over entirely, but that's unrelated to this video. But I did find this really cool promotional material where you could get the Batman figure pack for free if you bought the story pack from EB Games. The story pack was $90 here, which is just absolutely insane, but the figure was a $30 saving, so it's not too bad really. In 2018, we had another 2 bangers release which made up for the previous years actually, with Incredibles and DC Villains. The LEGO Incredibles game had an absolutely horrifying Edna Mode figure, and DC Villains, the definitive best LEGO game released by the way, came with yet another great Lex Luthor figure in Superman armor, also linked to the game's story. Very nice going on that one. 2019 had the release of the LEGO Movie 2 video game, similar vibes to Harry Potter, in which an Emmett polybag was released over an exclusive figure, though this does feature a pretty decent build and everything. It even recreates a scene from the movie, just, you know, to a small scale. And finally we get back to 2022 with the recent release of the LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. There was a 3-year break in between LEGO games, which were a yearly release for around 14 years, believe it or not. I mean, I think the figure's fine. He's not my favorite, but I do think that it's fun and charming in a kind of way. It has the same sense of humor that the LEGO games go for, but we can't ignore the fact that this is yet again another fucking farm boy Luke Skywalker figure. How many fucking figures do we need of him? For those of you that are willing to, for some reason, pay more than what the game costs for this Luke figure, word to the wise, but it's rumored that he's going to be re-released in the coming months for some May the 4th promos. There's plenty of other pre-order bonuses that are just as tame as this figure. Here's an old 2019 polybag that's been given away at some of our retailers because we clearly had too many of those. There's a really cool steelbook version of the game though, which I think DC Villains also had a steelbook at some point. They're all okay on their own, but if you were able to get some really cool package that had all of them, I could see why that would be a really cool incentive to pre-ordering this game. So that does it as far as I'm aware of the LEGO pre-order exclusive figures. Which ones are your favorites? How many do you own? I only own a couple of these. Elrond is probably my favorite, but I'm pretty biased to that. He was my first ever pre-order in general, and I have to say that those Lex Luthors are very impressive. Here's hoping for some more LEGO games in the future, and here's hoping for some even better exclusive figures too.